Well, hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So, Thanksgiving is almost here. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So, I am actually answering that age-old question of what's for dinner. And I am actually going to start cooking Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday. I'm trying something a little different. It's usually a really, really big rush and a lot of confusion and mess on Thanksgiving Day. And we have somewhere around 10 to 20 people today, or this year. I think we're only going to have 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the turkey and stuffing and potatoes and gravy today, refrigerated them, and then about an hour to 2 hours before Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to put them in slow cookers or crock pots and heat them up slowly so they'll still taste amazing. And that way the house is not totally trashed for when my guests arrive, and it will make it, I think, a lot easier for a more enjoyable Thanksgiving for me and my family that actually live here, which is me, my husband, and my daughter. So, but what we're starting with is the stuffing today. So, yep, here we go. Let me bring you down and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so what I did was I took bread. Now, this is the cheapest bread I could find at the grocery store. I buy it about a month to 2 months ahead of time, and I stick it in my fridge and let it go stale. Now, you're probably going to think, stale bread? That sounds gross. It actually makes the best stuffing for the taste. This is what I used, was the Giant. It's a 20-ounce loaf, and it does have no high fructose corn syrup. I'm sure there's other stuff in there I don't want to know. But that seems to be the best, is stale bread for your stuffing. I have no idea why, but how French toast actually came along is when you made bread and it started to go stale, then they'd soak it in eggs, and that's how French toast actually came about, was using stale bread. So we're going to start adding some other ingredients to our bread. As you can see, I just chopped it up like this size. It's not very big. Oh, I have a Band-Aid on my finger, a very good finger, actually. I already cut myself cutting up the bread. What I have next here is I have 2.5 cups of celery and 2.5 cups of onions. Now, I've cut these guys up pretty small, so it needs to be separated. But I wanted to cut it up pretty small so I could actually get it mixed in with this. And as it cooks, it's still there, but it's not hard and crunchy. Some people, like my husband, does not like celery. So I cut it up, and he never knows it's in here. And it just makes everything taste really good. Okay, we're going to go for some spices. Now, this is a very, very simple recipe, and you should always keep these ingredients on hand and even maybe dry some, because not all this stuff lasts very long. The onions will last a good time. Celery, however, does not last very long. So I have a lot of dried celery and freeze-dried onions. So I do 1 tablespoon of sage. This is mine, I ground up from the garden. Now, sometimes I want to tell you, sage is to taste. Not everybody likes sage in their celery, or in their celery, and their stuffing, but we do. Adds a nice taste to it. Like I said, this is a very, very simple recipe, and I like simple, especially around the holidays. And the less ingredients that you have to use to make something taste good, the less likely you'll be able to store it and have it for when times are tough. And then I get 1 tablespoon of black pepper. And 1 tablespoon I use my pink Himalayan salt because that's what I have on hand. Now, you can half this recipe, quarter it, third it, however you want to do. Okay. And our next ingredient, get this lid on here real fast. Sorry about that. I'm sure you saw it there in the video, is butter. I use 2 cups of melted butter. And I'm just going to pour this over. Okay. Our next ingredient is going to be eggs. And let me get those. And our next item is 1 dozen eggs. Already cracked them, and I'm just pouring them right over there. You don't have to smash them. You don't have to do anything. You just drop them in, because we're about ready to smash them up here in a minute. Now, because I already cut my finger and I have a Band-Aid on it, I'm going to wear gloves. This seems to be my Thanksgiving special when I do this. But that's all right, because this stuffing is absolutely amazing. I want to reiterate that I used 2 loaves of bread that were 20 ounces each. Okay, they were big sandwich loaves, the cheapest I could find, and then I left them sit in my refrigerator to go stale. Now with this, yes, I do suggest that you mix it with hand, unless you have a bigger bowl and you can mix it with a fork or something, but this is usually what I end up doing. And yeah, I make a mess. The messes are fun. That's how you know that you're making something good usually. Just get this mixed up like this. See, those spices are sticking to some of the bread, so they'll be in different parts. Make sure I get eggs in there. Now, if this does not seem like it's wet enough, I will add more eggs to it. I know that sounds silly because sometimes it just doesn't seem like it's wet enough, but I'll show you as I get there what I mean by wet enough. Okay, now stuffing is one of those things that's simple to make, but how you cook it can make or break your stuffing, no matter what ingredients you use. If it's slimy, yeah, we won't eat it around here. And I'm not too sure how many people like slimy stuff. But hey, if that's you, you do you. And you don't want it too dry, because then it's like, yeah, you just don't want it too dry either. But you definitely want to get this mixed really good. So if you have any favorite recipes that have been handed down, or that you know somebody that handed them down to you, maybe they weren't technically your family's, but somebody else's, you can leave them in the comments if you want to, maybe even ingredient lists and the whole recipe. That would be awesome. Kind of share in this video. Okay, now this right here, this is not totally mixed. If it was this might be a little too wet right through here. Okay, but I still have more stuff to mix up. And if your stuffing looks like this, then you know it's way, way too dry. So let me finish getting this mixed in. It looks like right now that it's going to come together perfect, and I won't have to add anything else to it. Maybe it's some eggs are bigger than the other, and hey, those came from our chickens here on our little homestead. Okay, yes, this is coming together perfectly. Just keep flipping it over until it all gets mixed in. Now, the reason I make so much, I have a very big turkey. It's like 21 pounds. And once I fill up the turkey, then I take the rest of it and put it in a pan and bake it at 350 for about an hour, or 375 at 45 minutes. Just depends, honestly, how much the turkey will take. But you can figure that out. You want it to be kind of brown on top if you're going to cook it alone. Just kind of get a outside crispy on it, but not burnt. Yes, this has turned out perfectly. And that's pretty much done the mixing. I'm going to put the lid on this, and I'm going to get to the turkey, and I will bring you back when I start shoving this inside the turkey for you to see. So give me a minute. So we got the turkey out of the bag. I pulled out the turkey neck and the giblets, and I disconnected the legs from the this plastic thing, whatever that is. Now, all I do is take turkey stuffing in balls, about this big, handful size for me, and I just start putting it in there. If I spill a little bit of it in the pot, it's no big deal. And this is a 22-quart roaster. It's actually the same roaster I cook my spaghetti sauce in, but I found these bags, and yeah, I'm going to try to use them today. And I wish I would have found them sooner. The roaster is amazing, and it works really great, but with all the tomato sauce, I kind of ruined the pan a little bit, but it still works, so I use it still. So as I said, I bake some of this by itself because I have 2 people in my family that does not like the stuffing that's been in the turkey. I don't know why. I like it, but my daughter's one of them. So yes, I do oblige her and my sister-in-law that. And then the back side, I fill it up too because I like the turkey stuffing. So I just go ahead and keep filling this up until it's full. And then when I get this to the actual roasting pan, I'll tell you how I add some nice spices and different things for the top of the turkey. Now, after I got that pretty full, I'm going to go ahead and shove the legs back into this plastic part to keep it. Yeah, it's smushing out, but that's all right. I'll stick this in there. Now, this back flap, I wish I had the camera over here. I just pull that down. I stick the stuffing up underneath of it as much as possible. So there you go. And let's get this over to where I will be cooking it. Okay, well, we got our turkey here in the roaster. My husband walked in and said, whoa, that's a big bird. So first thing I'm going to do is put a quart of water in this. Just to put a little bit on the top. So it just adds more juices. And our next item is we're going to take butter. And this is just softened butter. It is not melted. I don't melt it. I just take it and take the softened butter and just smear all over my bird. Might take a few extra minutes, but that's okay. I like this better than putting hot butter on it. Just smear this all over it. Yep, got a mess. Now as this heats up, this will just kind of slide off of it, but that's all right. But it kind of sticks to the bird a little bit easier in places that I want it to stick to, like the wings and different things like that. Now with this roaster, I'm going to cook it for several hours. Actually, I'm going to heat the roasting pan up to 400. And then when it clicks at 400, I'm going to go ahead and leave it sit there for about 15-20 minutes. And then I'm going to back it down to 250 and cook it several hours. I like to slow roast it. And if I was worried about getting the skin really crispy, which I'm not, then at the end, I would go ahead and turn it back up to the 400 or 375 just to get it brown. But I'm not worried about that because, like I said, we're going to actually debone it and put it in a crock pot for tomorrow to reheat up. I think this will make our Thanksgiving Day much more enjoyable. Now that I got the butter spread everywhere, we're going to do some salt and pepper. A little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to finish using up this one and some salt poultry seasoning. Well, that's all that there is in that one. Here's the other poultry seasoning. Now this would actually be simple to make. It's just thyme and rosemary and a few other ones, but this is already made, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. And I have it. And yes, I do keep these spices, including this one, in my stores. And we are going to put some rosemary sprigs, the whole, on top of here. That also makes the gravy taste so good. There you go. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to get this turned up to 400. And I'm going to put the lid on. And we will be back in a little bit to show you some progress. And this is the turkey. I checked it with a thermometer and with cutting it. As you can see, it is beautiful. It is flaky. It is nice. I tasted it. It's amazing. The rosemary and stuff flavored it all the way through. And this cooked, because I kept adjusting the temperature throughout the night, literally slow cooked about 20, no, not quite 20, about 18 hours. So now we're going to get it up out of here, and you can see all this juice that I will use for actually gravy and Thanksgiving, because I will freeze it. And we're going to get this into a kind of like a crock pot, but something to keep it warm for when everybody gets here. It'll still be nice and hot. And I'll show you what that means when we get to there. And so this is my pot full of turkey. I put it in a crock pot setting. I've got it on keep it warm. This is actually not really a crock pot, but it does have a crock pot setting. And the turkey just fell off the bone. It's not dry. It's amazing. This is definitely how I'm going to do it all year. The next years that I do Thanksgiving dinner here at the house. Yes, so everything is working out, going in the crock pots. They're all getting hot. So, looking good so far. Okay, so this is the gravy. It is heating up nicely in there. And the stuffing that I pulled out of the turkey, it's amazing. Yes, it's heating up perfectly. Now, my mashed potatoes was the only thing that kind of went funky. So I'm going to rethink how I do those next year. But they still taste good. Well, Thanksgiving dinner is done and dishes are cleaned up, still drying back there and behind me. The turkey cooking overnight was absolutely amazing. It was definitely the best turkey I've ever made, probably ever tasted. Mashed potatoes was a little off, so I got to figure out if that was the potatoes or leaving them sit in the fridge overnight and then heating them back up. I'm not sure. So I'll have to figure it out. But I just want to say I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving and it was awesome. And here are that's a recipe and some great ideas for you to look at for in the future, maybe Christmas, Easter, you name it. So, but we're going to go sit down and relax, put our feet up, and I'll be seeing you soon. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. Talking with you soon.